Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling Save. Week 1 of November, we are currently in, and we have a few big things to address before we get into our episodes of Dynamite this week. The last episode, let's have a quick little recap to catch you up to date. We had a great show. We had Chris Jericho, Frankie Kazarian in the main event for 73 rated. Ivelisse, Big Swole, not so great. Kenny Omega picked up a nice win. Lance Archer and Trent had a really nice match. Matt Hardy, Stu Grayson, 56. Cash Wheeler, Matt Jackson, excellent, 77. Great promos on this show from Rhodes and Miro. Chris Jericho had a great promo. Adam Page and Kenny Omega had a strong promo, and so did MJF. So some good stuff on this show for a 73 overall. So we're on a bit of momentum. You know, we've got 2 more Dynamites to get through, and then we are at full gear. So it's exciting times ahead indeed. Now, the other reason why it's pretty exciting times is because we found out there's a couple of big names up for grabs. The first being Rey Mysterio. Now, obviously, Rey Mysterio, we threw him a contract offer. We'd have to pay him big money. You know, the WWE are offering him $95,500 per month. The most we're allowed to offer is $71. So you can pretty much say there is no chance we are going to get Rey Mysterio. But one guy that we have offered a contract to, thanks to you guys, I asked you, should we get Jeff Hardy? I put it out on Twitter at Brendan Plays, and you guys all said yes. Not one person said no. So I said, all right, let's do it. Let's get Jeff Hardy. Let's do it. And look, obviously, it's easy. The Hardy Boys reunion, we could do that here in AEW. I know it's been done. I know it's kind of played out a little bit, but Matt Hardy needs something at this point because he's struggling. You know, it's just not really working with him. And Jeff Hardy come back. We can do that, and you know, maybe it's a short-term thing. We transition Jeff into his singles, whatever the case. But the WWE don't want it. They've said, no, we don't want Jeff Hardy. So here's the thing with Jeff Hardy with his contract. So we could offer him $3,500 per show, which is what I've done. Or the alternative is nearly $51,000 per month. And that's if he even accepts that. He might want $60,000 per month, if not more. So we're only doing 4 shows, or 5 shows if you count the pay-per-view, a month, which, you know, it's only going to be 17 grand or whatever the case is going to be. So why would we even think about doing a per month basis? That's one of the reasons why we're probably broke, because we've got a lot of bad contracts. So this would be a much smarter contract. Now, when house shows come along, might be a bit of an issue, but I can't recall if we are even going to let him do house shows. I think we might have taken him off. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I don't know if we're even going to do house shows in this save with the whole COVID thing going on. And technically, AEW doesn't even do house shows, so it shouldn't even be a thing that we're going to do anyway. So that's not even a problem. So 17 grand or 52 grand, if not more. You know, it's a no-brainer. Last thing, of course, the Butcher. We need to give him a new contract, so we're going to re-sign him as well. So look, yeah, we're going to probably bring in Jeff Hardy, unless the WWE do anything about it, which at this stage they haven't. Jeff Hardy will be joining AEW, which is huge. You know, Jeff Hardy, I think he's got 70 popularity. Yes, he does, which is awesome for us. You know, at one point he had 71, so he's still capable of gaining popularity. He's 43, so I don't know what he's going to be able to offer in ring. You know, he's currently performing around about his popularity, you know, 70, a little bit higher on occasion. So that's fine. But I'm hopeful that will certainly increase big time if, you know, he's teaming up with Matt Hardy. You know, the Hardy Boys might be able to get, you know, Jeff might get 80 rated performances. Matt Hardy might get 65 to 70, you know, which would be huge for us. And that would give us another great team to feud with, the Inner Circle, FTR, Young Bucks, you name it. There's some really good matchups there that we can do in the tag division. And if not, Jeff Hardy as a singles. You know, we need more main event players, and I think this is a signing that makes sense for us. I think it's worth going after him, especially if the WWE don't want him anymore. Only problem is, obviously, he brings a bit of baggage. You know, will his drug problems come into play? We might have to medically test him, because I'm sure there is some sort of issues there with him, so I'll have to try and figure it out. Hopefully he won't be too much of a problem for us. But that being said, there's one other thing I want to address before we get into it. Now, Awesome Kong is back. She's finally back after being away. I think she was doing, you know, filming TV or whatever. She's been gone. She's been unavailable for us. Awesome Kong's 43. So that's quite old for a women's wrestler. Usually around late 30s, early 40s, they're heading into retirement. You don't see too many 50-year-old women kind of wrestling. So, 43 is starting to get up there for a woman. She's got 40 pop, which I think is the most out of any woman on our roster. So that's obviously big. That's a great start. Mic skills are poor. Star quality is good. Menace is good. In ring wise, I don't know how she's going to go yet. I feel like she will do well, but we'll have to wait and see. So what do we do with her? Now, I think Awesome Kong still works the best as a heel. So I look at our women's division and think, okay, can I pair her up with any heels? Because I feel like, she would be best if she's working as a manager or as the bodyguard or as the heater for a heel. Now, we know they did the thing with Brandy Rhodes. Brandy, we're not going to do that. Brandy's going to remain a babyface, so we'll steer clear of that. We're not going to repeat those mistakes. So, Abaddon, no. Ali, she bombed. She's not worth really pushing. Anna Jay, she's got the Dark Order. Doesn't really need Awesome Kong. Bea Priestley, no. Britt Baker, we'll get back to her. Evilise, just doesn't think it really fits her. She's kind of more of she fights for her own battles type of character. Mel, she probably would be more of the bodyguard if there was one. Same with Nyla Rose. Penelope Ford would be a good option, but we haven't really seen the potential in her just yet. To be fair, she's only had 4 matches. I think we probably have underutilized her a little bit. Her performances, in this big match up here was 30, and she's got about 23 pop, so she's actually not too bad. She's probably worth using a little bit more. Priscilla Kelly, she's obviously got Bea Priestley at the moment, although Bea Priestley's, she's on borrowed time. I don't think she's going to last too much longer for us. Priscilla, she's doing pretty well, but again, are we really pushing her that strong? Maybe we should be. Maybe this is a way to do it. Rebel's working with Britt and obviously Vicky Guerrero, forget about her. So really, if we're going to think about using Awesome Kong as a big heel monster, the only thing that makes sense to me is putting her with Britt Baker. Now, Britt Baker is obviously kind of like a chicken shit sort of heel. So working with Awesome Kong, she's got someone to watch her back. It's a bit like MJF, he's got Wardlow to watch his back. So it's the same sort of thing, but in the women's division, which we don't directly have just yet. And Awesome Kong, she could probably work more tag matches if her in-ring ability isn't quite there anymore. If not, just working more angles and beating people up rather than having matches. So I don't think she's going to be in the title hunt or anything like that. Look, if her performances are blowing me out of the park, she's putting up 50 plus performances night in, night out, no worries. Absolutely, we'll shift gears and we'll start putting her in a spot where she's fighting as a top single star. But if she's kind of performing where I expect her to, which is, 40, maybe high 30s, nothing special, unless it's a squash match, probably best to put her with someone else. And I think Britt Baker's got to be the one. Britt Baker could use someone watching her back. Rebel's obviously there, with her, but doesn't really play that intimidating factor. So this kind of makes Britt Baker a little bit more untouchable and not as vulnerable. So this really strengthens her character for me. So I'm probably going to think about putting Awesome Kong with Britt Baker. So we might test it out on a dark match, and we'll see how that goes. All right, this episode of AEW Dark is all booked. Let's take a look. Awesome Kong had a 41 rated performance in her return match, squashing Red Velvet. So we went for a dominating squash match just to give her the best possible opportunity to get a good result. 41, not bad. We can work with that. I still feel like her best role is to work with Britt Baker there. So I think we're going to go with that. But it's good to know that she can still perform fairly okay. Miro took on Marco Stunt for a 54 rated. Miro 64, Marco 39. Miro picking up an easy win just to keep his momentum going. Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn cut a promo on the Butcher and the Blade. Yeah, look, I knew this was probably going to lose storyline heat, but we had to do something to advance the storyline. And the Private Party, we just got to keep building their promo ability. We just keep giving them promos, keep giving them practice, and hopefully they'll improve their skills. 30 rated. Evilise and Bea Priestley had a 28 rated match. Evilise was pretty good, 42. Bea Priestley, bit better, 29. That's better from her. Evil East picking up the win, of course. Post-match, we had Hikaru Shida storming the ring with a kendo stick. Evil East had to run away. 34 for that one. Again, losing storyline heat. We're struggling so far on this show. But it's hard because all our storylines are much higher, or the storyline heat is much higher than I expected. So it makes it really hard to kind of keep that storyline heat, which is a shame because we're only a couple of weeks away from Full Gear. So we should probably be trying just to, hang on to it for as long as we can. But, you got to do something, right? Taz and Ricky Starks had a 46 rated promo as Taz called out Will Hobbs for being a bad friend to Matt Hardy, not coming out to help him, even though Matt Hardy disappeared last week on his own accord and saved himself. But where was it Will Hobbs, Taz said. And he went on to say that he believes that Ricky Starks will embarrass Will Hobbs. 46 is pretty good. Ricky Starks out there to advance that storyline. Losing heat again, but look, I'm okay with that. That's fine. 46 is a good segment. 40 rated match with the Natural Nightmares defeating the Acclaimed. Dustin 47, QT 32, Max Caster 28, Anthony Bowens 29. So look, that's pretty good from the Acclaimed. And they're showing some promise as a low-end tag team. They're doing fairly okay. Natural Nightmares getting a win as we try and continue to build up some more momentum for them heading into their big showdown at Full Gear with Eddie Kingston and Lucha Bros. Britt Baker cut a promo on Chris Statlander, warning her that big problems are coming her way. So we're setting the seeds, doing a bit of a tease that Awesome Kong is potentially on the horizon, and something's going to happen to Chris Statlander. Main event was Orange Cassidy versus Shawn Spears, only a 45 rated match. We lost some heat with the Lance Archer Cassidy storyline because Jake Roberts was on commentary. Shawn Spears, 36, pretty lousy. Cassidy was pretty good, 52. Yeah, Shawn Spears. Yeah, he kind of sucks. Post-match, gaining some storyline heat back as Lance Archer stormed the ring, coming after Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy taunted Lance Archer and ducked under one of his clotheslines with his hands in his pockets, just kind of acting like it's easy. And Lance Archer, he's obviously furious, because why wouldn't he be? He almost hospitalized Trent and Chuck Taylor. He took him out, put him on stretchers to get him out of the ring. And here's Orange Cassidy still unimpressed, not afraid, not intimidated at all by Lance Archer. And that has to be really just pissing Archer off big time. So Lance Archer, he's come to the ring. He wants to try and attack Cassidy and send him a bit of a message. Cassidy's able to get out of there. So a bit of a one up there for Orange Cassidy over Big Lance. Overall, a 45 rated show. Alright, so Dynamite is booked, and look, I'm going to admit, this was a pretty tricky show to book because, we're in that bit of a standstill where there's still a couple of weeks to go to Full Gear. We don't want to go with something big. We don't want to give away the match. We're in a bit of a tricky situation where we just have a little bit too much time to fill in. So we tried our best for this show, and we should have a good overall result because we've pretty much put all our best workers on this show to try and get a good overall result and keep our storyline heat high, because that's what we're trying to do, and that's what's really a bit of a battle for us right now. But anyways, let's take a look at the results. We start with the pre-show. Awesome Kong and Shanna did not click. Bad chemistry. 32 rated match. Awesome Kong 34, Shanna 21. We gave Awesome Kong the win. We actually made this a wild brawl because Awesome Kong's brawling is pretty good. We gave her an opponent in Shanna whose brawling is pretty decent. So I wanted to try and see how Awesome Kong would go in this situation. Obviously, bad chemistry kind of ruins this experiment. Alright, we opened up the show with an 81 rated segment. So we had pretty much the verdict. The last couple of weeks, MJF has been protesting, and he's even said, I'm going to get my lawyer. I don't want to be in a cage match with Moxley. I'm going to protest this. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I don't have to be in this match. Well, the verdict was in. And MJF and Moxley will have to be in the cage. That's why Billy Gunn, Jerry Lynn, and Dean Malenko are out there. Those were the three guys who had to decide, if it was fair. And they agreed, yep, it's fair. Moxley and MJF should be in a cage to get a fair and square match. Moxley was laughing at MJF after the result because MJF was demanding a retrial. He demands to have someone else take a look at this. So, here's where I'm at. I really believe AEW is kind of struggling in a little way because it doesn't have a direct authority figure. We get it, Tony Khan, but Tony Khan is not going to be a great on-screen character. Just doesn't have the promo ability, doesn't have the look. You know, he's not going to be the right choice. So I think it's probably best for us to look at hiring somebody, whether it's for a short term or even long term, as an authority figure. I think a former wrestler, someone who's got people's respect, and could be a babyface authority figure. We don't want a heel authority figure who's going to try and, you know, undermine the babyfaces and screw them over. I'm not interested in that. I just want someone who's clean cut, makes the decisions. And so, you know, if someone has a problem, for example, MJF, he can go and address him about it. So I think after we book this show, I might start looking at bringing somebody in. I think the first person that comes to the top of my head is probably Sting, if we really want to go with someone big, a big name. And I don't mind that. I think if you're going to get one, go big, you know? Because Jerry Lynn, Billy Gunn, and Dean Malenko, yeah, they can represent AEW, but they can't, you know, they don't have the promo ability to really get involved and really help out in this situation, so it doesn't really help. We kind of had to have Tony Schiavone deliver the news, which is, again, not ideal, not the guy we really want. So it was an 81 rated segment, so the segment went fine, no issues about it at all. So I'm thinking that retrial for next week, maybe we bring in our new authority figure and he can be the guy who does the retrial. So that's kind of where we're at with the storyline there. Next up, Lucha Bros and the Butcher and the Blade teamed up to take on the Natural Nightmares and Private Party, so another way to get all these teams involved with one another and continue their storylines, which we did gain heat for the Butcher and Blade Private Party storyline, and we kept the Nightmare Family and the Family storyline at about the same. 54 rated match. Ray Phoenix, no surprise, was the best with 62. His brother, Penta El Zero, not far away with 60. Dustin Rhodes, 48. Isaiah Cassidy was good, 46. Some of the other highlights there. And we gave the Natural Nightmares and Private Party the win when we had Dustin Rhodes pin the Blade. So we wanted to give Natural Nightmares and Private Party a win here just to get them going, you know, looking strong heading into their Full Gear match. I still think Private Party will beat Butcher and Blade at Full Gear. I think the Lucha Brothers, or the family, will beat the Natural Nightmares family, or the Nightmare Family, at Full Gear. So kind of a way for them to get a win ahead of their eventual loss. Next up, 74 rated segment here as SCU and Inner Circle went back and forth with one another discussing their match in the ring. So this time we actually had Sammy Guevara on the mic speaking, as well as all members of SCU. Usually we just have Chris Jericho do all the talking, but I figured, look, it's time that we start getting Guevara more involved, developing his mic skills, and also getting SCU involved in this segment. So we had a 74, that's why it's a little bit lower than our usual promos, but I think it's good that we get everyone involved, we get everyone coming out of this one, hopefully looking a little bit better. Daniel Kazarian underperformed a little bit, so they didn't do so great, but, you know, it was good to get Guevara on the mic anyways and kind of doing better, and he did pretty well, so he got a good promo. He did quite well here, so I'm happy with it. Look, even though it probably won't help the storyline out, it advances it, doesn't hinder it in the end, but it's good that these guys are getting on the mic and at least developing their skills. That's what it's all about. Long term, you know, this is going to help out. Chris Statlander, wow, 51 rated promo, as she cut a promo on Britt Baker saying that she'll do all the talking in the ring at Full Gear, and she's sick and tired of hearing Britt Baker run her mouth. Gained heat. Who would have thought? Chris Statlander cutting a very good promo. So last time we had Britt Baker mocking Statlander for the whole alien thing, so this is a way for her to say, you know what, Britt, I'm sick of all your talk, I'm sick of hearing your voice. Full Gear, I'm just going to kick your ass. Simple as that. 51, simple and effective, it worked. Kenny Omega had a match against Jungle Boy, 77 rated. Has to be one of our best matches we've had. We had this as a steal of the show, and I figured, look, Kenny Omega needs a couple of big wins heading into Full Gear. We're still having Adam Page out injured, selling his injuries, so he's unavailable. So instead we're having Kenny Omega just kind of pick up a few big wins, make him look great heading into Full Gear. And I thought Jungle Boy is a guy we've underutilized. It's a great way to get him involved in a high-profile match. Why not? 77 in the end. Probably should have been the main event. Yeah, definitely probably should have been. But yeah, big match. Kenny delivered 81. Jungle Boy held his own, 46. Advanced the Omega and Page storyline quite nicely. That's good. Very good. After the match, Kenny Omega cut a promo He was interviewed by Tony Schiavone, cut a promo on Adam Page, basically saying he isn't sorry for attacking Hangman Adam Page. 71 does bring the storyline hit back down a touch, but that's okay. You know, we had a good match, and I actually thought the promo would do better than the match, so I was kind of wrong there, back to front, but nonetheless, you know, both pretty good. We had Taz with Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. So we're going to do Ricky Starks getting another TNT title shot against Cody. So we did this in the past when Ricky Starks burst onto the scene. Now that Ricky Starks picked up some wins, he's a little bit more confident. He's kind of earning this a little bit more. He's going to rematch. You know, he wants a rematch. He wants to try it again. So Team Taz, you know, Team FTW, basically cutting a promo saying, look, Will Hobbs, Matt Hardy, don't get yourself involved. You know, you're not going to like what's going to happen to you guys if you get yourself involved and screw over Ricky Starks. So you obviously know where this is going. They're going to get themselves involved and screw over Ricky Starks. 57 rated. So we did mention Cody in this segment. That's probably why it got a little bit more of a boost up. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Speaking of the match, 64 rated in the end. Okay. Last time these two met, they had a 72 rated. So I actually thought this would do around about similar numbers, which is why we had the Miro and Cody Rhodes storyline featured in this one. So Miro was ringside for this match, watching on. I thought it might help that out. In the end, it probably has hindered it. So yeah, we've kind of maybe did a bit of a blunder there. But nonetheless, we helped out the Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, and the Matt Hardy, Brian Cage storyline. So that's okay. So, you know, that helps out them. But it does hinder the Cody and Miro storyline quite a bit. Nonetheless, Cody picked up the win with a 74. Ricky Starks was good, 41. So maybe we needed the match to go a little longer. I'm not sure. Maybe it needed to go shorter. But Cody makes it his 11th title defense for the TNT title. It's been a while since he's defended it, so I figured, you know what? Let's get him out there. Post-match, Will Hobbs broken Matt Hardy. Well, they had a big brawl with Ricky Starks and Brian Cage to the back. So obviously, Will Hobbs got himself involved. He screwed over Ricky Starks to help Cody pick up the win. 55 rated for this segment as well, which was really good. So we've been able to get a few good segments and really boost up two storylines here on this show, which is great. Jake Roberts, Lance Archer, basically saying, look, Orange Cassidy, you know, you want it, you got it. We're going to have no mercy towards you when it comes to Full Gear. You know, and we're tired of you, you know, playing games with us, taunting us, making fun of us, not taking us seriously. Well, you'll take us seriously at Full Gear when we absolutely obliterate you, just like we did with your other best friends. So these two guys, Roberts and Archer, not messing around. 57 rated for this promo. Very good. One of their better promos, actually. So Jake Roberts starting to get it right. Lance Archer, we had him actually talking in this promo as well, I believe. So that may have helped out a little bit as well. So overall, yeah, that's a good promo here. Main event, Young Bucks defeating the Dark Order. I really struggled with our main event. I really did not know what to do here. I obviously knew we hadn't done anything with the Young Bucks and FTR, so I figured, okay, it's got to be something to do with these guys. But do we have them interact with each other again? We've already done the singles matches, so what do we do? I figured, look, the Young Bucks are capable of getting a good match out of most people. They had an 80 rated match or something like that with Private Party, so I thought, okay, maybe they can do it with a different team. So we tried the Dark Order. And I gotta say, it worked out pretty well. 73. That's a good match. Nick was 80, Matt 79, Stu 45, and Evil Uno 46. We had a 15-minute match, and we just had the Young Bucks pick up a solid win heading into the pay-per-view. No shenanigans to follow it up. We just wanted to have a good win for the Young Bucks. FTR watching on ringside to advance that there. So that's where we're at with that show. So look, I'm pretty happy with this show overall. 68. Obviously, Kenny and Jungle Boy was fantastic, so we probably could have done a lot better, actually. Surprising that, you know, we had two strong matches, and well, three if you count the Cody and Ricky Starks, and still only got a 68. Maybe if we had Kenny and Jungle in the main event, might have done a little bit better. But yeah, I think we did some good things. You know, we did a few lousy things, and some of the storylines that we advanced kind of went down a little bit, but some of our weaker storylines got better. So I guess, you know, we boosted the weaker ones, but hindered our top ones. And I guess at the end of the day, the top ones are probably more important than the weaker ones. NXT, 1.48 million viewers. 70 rated show for them, so they got a bit of a better show than us this week. We had 754,000 viewers, so our ratings are holding fairly steady at the moment, nothing too major. But I'm happy with that. Look, it's good. We want to stay steady and continue where we're at, but hopefully improve it soon. Ducks, AEW Ducks ratings have been slowly on the increase, and when I say slowly, I mean like they've gone up 1,000 viewers, 11 to 12,000 viewers. So that's good as well. We are seeing some little improvement on Dark. I haven't been showing in the ratings for that, but there has been some improvement there as well. Alright, so moving on from our episode of Dynamite, we had a look at the roster, and we actually didn't have a single, basically no popularity changes at all, which is kind of a little bit disappointing considering we had some good segments and good matches, not really getting any progress there. But anyways, let's move ahead. So we talked earlier about potentially bringing in an authority figure. So now it's time to basically search the market. Is there someone out there for us that we could bring in to hire as a potential authority figure? Now, I'm sure the list is pretty low. We've got some popularity in, so we'll go 20 pop. We need a little bit of popularity. But is there someone out there that we can bring in who could be a legitimate, credible authority figure for us? Someone that would make sense. DDP would have been a good one, but, he pissed that away when he did the big DDP scandal. He kind of exposed us for the whistleblower scandal that happened, so he would have been a good option, and I probably would have went with him, but now, not so much. Dutch Mantel still could do it, 70 years old though, might be time to move on from him. Eric Bischoff, it's been done many a time, but he has appeared quite a bit in AEW, and it would make sense, and you would believe it. But Eric Bischoff, you expect him to be a heel, don't you? You expect him to be up to no good. He's had that reputation on TV for far too long, and it'd be a little bit hard to take him seriously. Hulkster, yes, obviously great charisma, would do a good job, there's no doubt about that, but I'm not sure if bringing Hulk Hogan into any locker room is a good idea, especially as the authority figure. Didn't work so well for TNA. JBL, still very affiliated with the WWE, and also brings along a bit of a bad reputation as well. Kevin Nash isn't a bad shout. He's got very good mic skills. 65 pop, has been on TNT in the past. The only problem with Kevin Nash is he's too goddamn big. Kevin Nash is nearly 7 foot tall. And him as an authority figure, yeah, you're going to take him seriously, but, he's just too imposing. He's just too intimidating as an authority figure. But again, I guess you would believe what he's going to say. If he books you in a match, you've got no choice but to do that match because it's Kevin friggin' Nash telling you to do it. So, he'd have that respect. Kurt Angle, still kind of affiliated with the WWE, but I think he's technically a free agent, so I think Kurt Angle would be a great GM. Now, he has done it recently in the WWE, so it has been done recently. So if we want to go for something a little bit fresh, you probably wouldn't go with Mick Foley either for the same reason, but both would be great candidates. Mike Tenay, it's a TNA guy, an Impact guy, so not sure if he would resonate that well with our audience. Mr. Anderson, always liked Mr. Anderson. I've always been a fan of Mr. Anderson. He's been one of those guys back in the day that I really liked. Great mic skills. Not sure. I mean, he would still have some, a little bit to offer in the ring. So I suppose you could have that as a potential, down the line. 45 pop, not bad. So we'll hold off on him. We won't rule him out yet. So he's a candidate. Raven, we've had too many issues with Raven in the past for our TW, so I'm probably going to give that a miss, but he's got great mic skills. Ric Flair, no. Ricky Steamboat, no. Rikishi, Scott Hall, no. Simon Dean, oh boy. Well, here's the one we mentioned earlier on, Sting. Now, Sting, he's retired, he won't wrestle, but he hasn't really done the authority figure role on a major program. He's always been an occasional wrestler, gets in the ring if he has to, but he hasn't done anything since he's really retired. So this would be a great opportunity for us to use him. He's obviously been on TNT for years and years ago as one of their legends, so it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So for me, he's my number one candidate. Is his mic skills good enough? 81 charisma, 77 mic. Okay, that's pretty good. Acting 72, 78 star quality, so you kind of would believe it. It's Sting, he's legit. 77 pop. His segments are going to be amazing. So for me, that's a big get. That would be huge. If we can bring in Sting as an authority figure, that's going to be number one. Anyone else? You probably wouldn't pick anyone else out of this list. So for me, Sting as our authority figure makes sense. We need someone to make some matches. He can play a great babyface. We all know that. He's got the popularity. His segments are going to be very good. And it's going to be interesting. You know, him as authority figure, I think would make for some interesting TV. At least for a little bit. You know, 61 now, so he's definitely finished in the ring, so we can, you know, finish those rumors away. We don't have to think about using him in the ring, but we can think about using him as an authority figure. I think this is the right next stage of his career too, and we can give him a nice little deal. So he wants $800 per show, which is pretty affordable. Otherwise, $30,000 per month. Now, if we were kind of running a lot more shows, you know, the per month thing would make sense, but $800 per show is a lot better for us. I'll see if he'll do a whatever is needed role, so we could kind of putting him in anything physical without it being a match potentially. You know, we'll see. But I think a 1 year deal, we'll make it 2 year. A 2 year deal. We keep Sting under contract for a couple of years, even if he, you know, it just turns out to be just a Legends appearance. You know, you've got him for a couple of years locked in. Major TV shows and above. So yeah, that's not really going to work for us. We're going to need him on Dark potentially. So we'll just have him as not involving any ring work, no matches from Sting. It's just simply you're coming in to be the authority figure, and he wants a better merchandise deal. I think that's fair enough. Sting would probably move a bit of merchandise. He wants more, 25%. Still wants more. Well, maybe we'll lower that down and give him $900 per show. Still wants more. Okay, we'll get 25%, $900 per show. He's happy with that. Okay. So there we go. Sting coming in as an authority figure. He's a TNT legend. He's a free agent. He's someone that people are still genuinely interested in. And he's a believable character for our TV show. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Hardy. His contract is finally done. We will ink the deal, 2 years, $3,500 per show. I'm gonna request a medical though. I want to find out, is there any issues we need to worry about with Jeff Hardy? My answer is gonna be yes. $3,000 to do it, let's see it. He has come back clean. Come back clean? For soft drugs, hard drugs, painkillers, and steroids. Jeff Hardy is clean. Well, I am shocked. Okay. Well, you're damn right we're signing him. Complete it. And he will not be available for 23 more days. Okay. Well, last but not least for this episode, we can officially see it. Sting will join our roster as well. Let's complete the signing. Sting, we'll use him as a babyface, as an authority figure for us. So that's just massive. It's simply huge for us to get Sting in. Yeah, I think I want to find a really good authority figure name. You know, like, you know, creative. I don't know, like chief matchmaker or something like. I don't know, something better than that, but something along that route. Like not, you know, general manager, for example. Just you know, something a little bit different, but also you get the point. You know what he is, but you know, it's something a little bit different than the usual. But nonetheless, I'm very happy with that. Sting's going to join our roster. We badly needed an authority figure, and I think now MJF will have his work cut out for him on the next episode of Dynamite when he does the big retrial. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of All Elite Wrestling on Total Extreme Wrestling. 2 massive signings tonight. This is going to be great. We're only 6 days away from full gear, so the next couple episodes are going to be huge. Don't miss them. Thank you for watching. Leave a like on it if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to see more if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.